The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Forum. Assemble. You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll have to take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler, and resident strawman, Moses Magnum. Right.
Hello.
Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
I didn't realize I was out of beer. So just now.
That seems fair. And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mir Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about Avatar, The Last Airbender, the new series on Netflix. So we'll be reviewing that. We're also going to be talking to you about the season 3 premiere of The Bad Batch, Star Wars, The Bad Batch on Disney Plus. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And we'll tell you how it is you can let us know how you want to get down with the forum in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the entire show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you, good sir. And with that said, let's go ahead and have our intern tell the good people how you can get down with us.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
There it is. Jay, what's so funny, Jay? What's so funny? Huh?
No, it's like the intern sounds like she's like cut off, like in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never sure if that's like just the way I hear it or if it's like how the show hears it.
It's definitely how the show hears it. That's what's happening. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just funny. I was thinking, like, if I actually listened to the show, like, I would know.
That is funny that Joe never listens to the show.
Almost never.
Look, Jay's like, not even when I'm off.
Or if I do, like, I'll just skip to the part where I was gone and just listen from there. Jay's
like, even when I'm on it, I don't listen. Like right now, Jay's like barely listening.
He actually commented.
Oh, go ahead. Mo. Is Mo stuck? Am I stuck? All right, Tiger Claw says, have you guys played Mortal Kombat 1? Now the Peacemaker DLC is out? No. What I will tell you is there is a skin set for Mortal Kombat 1 that almost made me want to buy it. And that skin set is Disney characters. And it's a mod. Someone made a mod and changed all the characters to Disney characters. So you have like some of the princesses, Winnie the Pooh, think Jafar is there. And I was watching some gameplay of it, and I almost considered getting Mortal Kombat to
on
get
PC.
This mod. Yeah. I don't know how you console people live.
Are you the PC master race all of a sudden with your not even having a PC?
I am.
He's
am
like
definitely
PC master race,
master
Steam
race.
Deck edition, Steam Deck edition. Like, come on, man! You gotta at least have like a rig before you become all PC master race. Like, I don't know how you console people even live with your fake ass video games. It's like, dude, first of all, we got large TVs. That's number one. It's like, come on, man. That's too funny. Now I did have a question about this mod though. So they're literally just putting skins on the characters that already exist in the game. So the
Yeah.
moves are like the same move sets and all, but just with the Disney characters.
Right.
Do you happen to know like what character has like what Disney skin is put on like which characters? So like, you know, like what, like you have any idea what that is?
I don't know the game well enough.
That's fair because they do mix stuff up. So
yeah, I will tell you what. I will go and find this because I think I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, put it in our Discord.
But I didn't put it in our. I didn't put it in our Discord. I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
when I get the chance. But it looks awesome. Like to see the princesses going at it, like really hurting each other. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Oz, have you played Mortal Kombat 1 at all?
No, not interested.
Are you not a Mortal Kombat fan at all?
I was, you know, when it was good.
What do you mean when it was good? Like when?
It's just I haven't enjoyed fighting games in years.
Okay, so Mortal Kombat's still good. You just don't like fighting games anymore then.
That means it's not that good.
No,
I haven't played fighting games.
That's absolutely not what it means. Your taste just changed, which is okay.
I retired as the Nightwing champion back in
Injustice.
Yeah.
See, because that's like I will say that, like I know for myself, like I don't play as many shooters anymore. Like I used to play a lot of first-person shooters, or I won't even say a lot. I used to play the average amount of first-person shooters as a gamer would. I guess your typical gamer, right? Like, you know, there was a point in time when I bought like basically Call of Duty just about every year, and you know, my taste changed, and I just was like, you know, I don't know if I have as much interest in like team death matching and like being in like a game where I'm shooting people up. Like Splatoon takes care of that for me, and that's enough. Like it's like that's the most hardcore or the hardest core shooter I play at this point, basically.
The same thing happened with me. Like with
games were fun when I would hang around people and we'd get together and play, but going online, it's I hate people online.
I feel that. What were you gonna say, Jay?
Like me too. My tastes have also changed. I used to be huge into fighting games, but now there's only like I'll get DOA when that comes out.
That's not for the fighting though.
No, it's for the fighting. Like I enjoy the fighting in DOA.
I get it for the volleyball.
Like the volleyball's good too.
Best damn volleyball simulator out there.
Dude, it's not as bad as people say it is. Like,
the game. No, DOA is not a bad game.
No, the volleyball. I mean, even the
DOA the volleyball. I don't know anything about DOA volleyball.
But, yeah, the fighting game. I enjoy DOA fighting, like enough to get pissed off when they fuck it up.
Gotcha. I actually really want to play Mortal Kombat 1, and I mean, I honestly think it's a game that if I went and got it and started playing it, I would really enjoy it, and I especially like the idea of what they're doing with it. But I just know myself where it's like that's like a game where I don't have the time to play it right now. And if I went out and bought it,
is that what's going on?
It's like a remix kind of, yeah, like remix reboot. I mean, but it follows the story of Mortal Kombat, which is like that's what I love about.
Right, they're kind of retelling it and from a today's perspective.
Oh, so it's a rerun.
So they're like changing the lore a little bit to include everything they know now.
Well, because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like because of the events of the previous game, it kind of did like a reset. So it's almost like a Secret Wars-ish kind of deal where it's like, and so because of what happened in the game previous, I think Kung Lao is the elder god, and the world that he goes to or whatever is kind of like, like a remixed version of what we know. So there's a lot of the characters we know in Mortal Kombat 1, but the roles they play are different. So it's not, I wouldn't call it. Oh, go ahead.
The last time I played Mortal Kombat, you had to collect combat coins to unlock shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's way too much grinding they want me to do. Like,
you don't have to do it though.
Well, but they wanted me to.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Like,
I know that it's not about having to. It's about they want too much from me. Like, I know I don't have to do it, and I'm not going to. But the fact that they wanted me to do that is a little much.
It's like, come on, Mortal Kombat. What are you trying to do? Trying to extend. Look, was that the fail horn? What was that? Oh man, that's too funny. It's like out here trying to extend the gameplay. How dare you? How dare you?
I mean, there are better ways to do it.
That's fair. Tiger Claw did say, which he did mention, that there's Peacemaker DLC. So
he said there's a clip of it in our Discord. Let me see if I can pull that up and share it. I don't think I can.
That's fair.
But I'm gonna try.
I will say that, like Peacemaker being a part of the whole Mortal Kombat franchise is pretty cool to me. Like, I honestly, like, Mortal Kombat's had some great additions to their rosters. Like, like definitely out the box kind of additions, but that are still super cool and somehow end up fitting. Moses Magnum, you've gone audio only.
Yeah, this piece of shit camera is not working, and it's actually making me not be able to hear you guys.
I'm sorry to hear that, friend.
But now that we're glad to this, you guys are coming in clear. So
perfect. We're glad that you're still able to participate, even though I think that you need like a different.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You might need a different. I don't know how to do that.
Just picture me how you will in your head.
There it is. It's okay though. That Foundation album is actually really good.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a good album. I do stream it, so I'm not mad at it.
All right, anyway, so here we go.
Speaking of streaming, Larry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jay was pulling up the Peacemaker inside of
brutality.
Can you make that big?
Yes.
Thank you.
Brutality.
Peace out, motherfucker.
Peacemaker wins.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Is that John Cena?
Yeah.
Sounds like him. Like, if it's not him, that's a pretty damn good sound alike.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mo, what were you gonna say, buddy? Speaking of streaming.
Oh yeah, there's a song you should add to your heavy metal playlist.
Oh, what's that?
It's called Promethean Spark.
I love it. I will go add it as soon as the show's over. I love the title, Promethean Spark.
Yeah, it just came out. Like once I saw the title, I'm like, oh, Larry's gonna like this.
Yeah.
good too, but like you need to hear this.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Okay, cool. So, fellas, you guys ready to jump into some reviews?
Yes.
I love how y'all just like, let's just leave him hanging. It's like let's just all be completely silent. We had luckily Mo had to talk because he's only audio right now. So
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
I was trying to pull it up real quick.
He was working.
Oh, you're talking about the oh, Prometheus.
What are we doing?
That's Promethean Spark.
Yeah. I know, but we're playing copyrighted stuff.
It's still not a good mix because of the way it's streaming. Like it's streaming and streaming, so it's not a good representation of the quality of the song.
I got it.
There it is. So, look, I thought Jay was like trying to pull up the review theme, but
no, I have that down pat.
Got it. All right, well, let's do it.
Okay. You know, it's weird that you think that I don't have that. It's kind of, I don't know, like a little bit.
It shows how little.
Well, it helps that it hasn't played that kind of.
Also,
no, it's more about gel coat.
When the fourth round would...
Don't you call it?
Does it look good already?
Jumbo Scampi for limited.
All right.
That shit reminds me of Lionel Hutz in court, Jay. It's like, what color tie am I wearing? And it's like, if that is what you think, you are sadly mistaken. And he's like delaying. He's like, I'm not wearing a tie. And he's like, I rest my case, and the tie sticking out of his sleeve. Oh, it's so classic. I love
so let's talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix series live action adaptation has finally arrived, as everyone was highly anticipating or dreading, depending on who you are and where your loyalties lie when it comes to Avatar.
Actually, it was both. Like, we were highly anticipating it, and then the showrunners left, and then we started dreading it. Like, it was both.
I was pissed. Nobody ever told me how cool Avatar was.
Oh, this son of a bitch!
I'm pissed. You already know.
Jay said.
Did Mary not tell you? Like, I assume she did.
No, you all have been trying to get me to watch it, and I felt bad. Like, I'm like, no, I really fucked up that time that was Jay's wingman, and that girl asked him what his dream car was. He goes, "Oh, the car I have now, but green with an earthbending scroll." And then the series starts with an earthbender running and shit. And like, oh man, that's just tight. No wonder he wanted that. Yeah, I wasn't a good wingman to Jay that day because I didn't know what he was talking about. But I had his back still when they were looking at him confused. You know,
he did have my back.
Yeah.
There it is. So, for those that don't know, Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix is the live-action adaptation of the animated series that first aired on Nickelodeon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it follows a airbender, which yeah, right. Which I'm like, it's so funny because I'm sitting here explaining it like, technically, like, say if someone's never heard of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is, I guess, ideally who why you explain it, right? You're like, it follows an airbender. Somebody's like, what is that? What is an airbender?
I mean,
Right.
it's kind of self-explanatory, right? Somebody that can bend air. Like, I don't.
But explaining what it really means, why that's important, it's a whole like I had that struggle when somebody was explaining to me how good the cartoon was, and it wasn't just Jay's, people I worked with that liked it, and they're like, that shit's so tight, especially when the Shyamalan movie came out, and I was like, I never got into it. It's just no, and they start telling me how the gravity of like the world they live in and the firebenders and earthbenders and waterbenders and what the avatar means, and it's just this heavy shit. And then I watch it, and this kid's farting and flying from his fart, and I'm like, man, this is the fuck, and that's why I never watched it until.
Is that what that was? His fart? I don't think that's his
that was Korra.
Yeah,
the kid, the little boy airbender in Korra farts and flies.
Right.
Well,
Wow.
I think Aang or Ong, depending what movie you saw.
No, Ong. Don't do that. Don't you dare.
But but I think he did that in one episode or something. But I know he sneezed and then flew at the beginning, like when they find him in the iceberg. In the cartoon, and it's like funny, and I'm like, oh, all this cool shit they tell me, and I'm watching this kid be funny. But apparently Emily told me I was wrong. But we'll get to that later.
As you
It's
told
interesting.
Emily's
Like
correct.
when you have 20 some odd episodes, you can do more of the silly stuff, and it makes the heavier moments like way more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
The first time you watch The Storm, that episode, which I mean everything has been pretty light till then, and The Storm is when Aang is like, we find out the situation where he left the air temple, where he was just abandoning his friends, his family, his duty, just doing everything he could to get away from it. And because of that, all his people are dead. And it's like,
and
just
the world's
really
in peril too. It's not just his people, but the world, the civilization's in peril.
It's like,
dude. That's why I loved it. And then I see him sneeze and fly. But I'll stop saying that because I love it now.
Yeah. But I will say, when you have 8 episodes, a lot of that gets lost.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that get lost.
Yeah. But you've lost a lot of the lighter moments with Aang, which is, it is what it is. Like
for me, I loved it. Like it was like really like what they were trying to explain to me is what I got here now, and I was like, man, and I was literally pissed. I'm like, why didn't these dudes really tell me how cool this was? Like Emily was like, you gonna hit that button, the fuck you Larry button, but I can't do it right now. I can barely stream clear audio.
Listen, can't blame me. But I always tell y'all what to watch. I always tell you all what's cool.
Oh, not only that, but also like even like when Legend of Korra was coming, I remember like one of our first Comic Cons, like Jay got a drawing from one of the dudes that was like one of the artists, the cell artists for the original cartoon, and that's one of the first conversations I had about Avatar. I think that might have been the same day that we were talking to those girls about the earthbending scroll around Jay's car. but
Makes
sense.
Yeah,
it's always been a part of the in the background, and I'm like, yeah, it's just not for me. It's too funny. Like I like the story, but the idea, but it's too funny.
Yeah, and it's interesting because go ahead, Jay.
And I don't know if parallel is kind of the right word, but the initial advertisements for the show were really playing up the funnier, sillier aspects of it. And that's why I actually wasn't watching it at first. I just happened to like come in later, like weeks later, into like a really good episode that I just happened to watch because nothing else was on. So I was like trying it because, in my heart, I love elemental stuff. and it actually ended up being really good, like the complete opposite of the advertisements. So I feel you where you're like, oh man, it's gonna be too silly. And
watching this first episode, like it really just got down to that nitty gritty. Like it started similar to the cartoon a little bit, and then you got this fight, and then you got the effects look good, and then the story is like, I think the first episodes, like the first episode, I think is like the 3 episodes of the cartoon. So it's like once I watched the first episode, I'm like, you know what? Let me watch up until the cartoon catches up to these, because I know it's synthesized down, to like a longer episode. So I watched like I think the first one or first 3 or 4 episodes, and then I watched the second episode and then watched them. So I watched them concurrently, and that was a good experience for me because I ended up already knowing what the cartoon was like, but now enjoying it because I enjoy the live action as well. And I had a similar experience with One Piece as well, because that's another one that I tried watching. I was like, this is too funny. It's like, I was like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I don't watch cartoons for fun. I don't watch I don't watch things for fun. I watch things to be a mirror of society that I can can palate in a way that doesn't make me depressed about the world. Yeah.
You should definitely be watching Bluey.
Oh, dude, I'm on it. I'm on it. I keep crying on that Jacques episode.
So I did see Jay, you shaking your head when Mo mentioned the special effects and the effects being good.
Yeah, they're bad.
Okay, so you don't like the special effects?
A fair amount of them, no. Airbending looks really, really unimpressive in live action. Like,
well, yeah,
it's funny.
That's what it is. It's like that those weird martial arts videos where the old man just waves at you, and then the students. That's what airbending is.
I mean, you're right. Like you wanted the air to be heavier or more pronounced, or what?
It looks more impressive animated, right?
Right. Well, because they animate air.
Right. They actually give it a physical look.
and don't get me wrong, they do that in this show too.
Occasionally,
it's a lot less pronounced, but it does happen.
Yeah, occasionally they do, but a lot of times they don't.
That flying bison looks amazing,
and the fighting is, man, like in the second episode, the Kyoshi Warriors episode, there's a fight towards the end of the episode, and everyone is moving so slowly.
I like how in that episode, I like how they fight and they're fighting, and then it's like they just move to behind a house. Like it's a totally different scene. Like they cut out like in between. Like, yeah, and when you compare that to the animated source material, that was such a better fight in the animated than it was in live action. Like it's weird. I got the opportunity to do that. So, but even like,
I mean,
Aang's escape from the ship from the Fire Nation ship was better in the cartoon, even with the whimsy, than what happened in the live action show, and it's even worse in the movie.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's hard to basically like live up to the level of the fights from the animated series, just because,
especially with the skill of they've got actors like when they need martial artists.
Well, not only that, but they have editing, so it's like you can literally just speed it up and make it look better. Like they made Matt Damon look like he could take on an army of spies. Like he could do anything. Like he can do stuff. You just have to have the right editor. Oz knows. We choreographed a fight scene with not martial artists and not actors, with weapons. But in editing, it looks good.
Yeah, we had semi-automatic weapons at the public beach.
Yeah,
and swords,
and katanas, and and we shot it on like a Samsung point and shoot camera. But in the editing, it looked good. He won an award for it. But it's in that it all in filmmaking, it all comes together. Like there was in that Kyoshi fight. Like again, like I wish there's things that after watching the cartoon, the live action did leave me wanting more, which was like the face paint that the water tribe kid wears when he meets the Fire Nation guy. Like he looks all tough, like all black metal and shit, and like the show didn't do that, And yeah, that was a little funnier, but it's still the look, the design was good, and then even the design of the Kyoshi Warriors was tight. But then the when she teaches him that whole interaction with the girl in that in the cartoon was better than it was in the show. And again, maybe it's because he condensed it to 8 episodes over 20 episodes. So I'll give it that, But
also never mind.
No, go ahead.
I feel like in the show, in the cartoon, it happens, them training together happens a little more, or not organically necessarily, but there are definitely more parts to it.
Yeah.
No question.
I would say organically.
They watered down the characters a lot, and I'm especially mad at how they treated my boy Sokka, because dude is like the greatest waterbender of all time, and like he's nothing in this show. Yeah, every time he talks to a lady, their water be coming out. He gushing.
That's the one thing that M. Night Shyamalan got right.
He meets a pretty girl, water bending. He don't even have to wave his hands or nothing. But like Jay was saying, you're condensing.
Here.
You're condensing 20 episodes into 8, so you're gonna take stuff out, and I get that. But like what they do with
also 20 minutes
him, it's just his part stands out the most to me because like he's a personal hero of mine. Is they take out his character growth, but the scenes in which that stuff happens are still in the show. It's not like they cut that out. And I don't understand the reasoning why they would do that, because like Jay said, something happens and it just kind of leads into the next scene and then the next scene, to where like when the dude doesn't want to train the girl because she's a girl, like Sokka coming up and being like, yo, you should get up in there and kick his ass, much more impactful based on how he was in the first episode. And even the training scene that you guys were talking about, like he went from girls can't fight, some dudes must have caught us, you're just girls, to putting on a dress and makeup and training with her, like realizing, well, I not only can she fight, but she's actually better than me. I can learn from her. Like that's growth. Like that makes the character more interesting. His sister too, like they a lot more attitude. She makes her brashness and obsession with waterbending like leads her to make these mistakes that make her grow as a character. Like she steals the scroll in the show, and here it's just kind of like they hand it to her. It's like she's there's no difference in these characters from episode 1 to the last episode, where it's a huge difference in the animated series.
There's definitely a much larger arc for the characters in the animated series. And you want to be Sokka? Is that what you said?
R.I.P. Sokka.
Oh, Sokka.
What I say?
Sokka. Like there it is. Oz, how did you feel about the special effects?
There are some areas where you can see where the money was spent that look pretty good, especially like the wide shots over open areas, and you're seeing like these cities. Those look great. There are a lot of moments where like you can kind of see the green screen. I didn't have that much of a problem with the fighting effects. The air did look a little bit weird, but man, it got fired down pretty good, I think. And the water, and the water was better than the movie. So as long as
not a high bar, but yes, you're right.
Well, it's not a high bar, and it's been years. Like how long ago did that movie come out? They should be better. So as long as it can, as long as it's not a downgrade, I think I'm happy.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Jay?
So a lot of the effects look better for the night shots than they do for the day shot.
I mean, I feel like that's VFX all around, though, right?
That's why everything is all dark. You look at Walking Dead; it's all night.
Yeah, it's like they literally put things happening at night for that reason. Sometimes in
well, you got to be able to control
shows.
the light. Like I hate me saying that here with the way my camera looks now, but but it's you can hide everything in the darkness, and when everything's all dark, you can control the light and show what you want to see, what want the audience to see. You know.
Right.
One thing I will say, the live action version has more people burning alive than the cartoon, which is an improvement, I think.
Okay, you want more barbecued people?
I mean, you're playing with fire.
How do you guys feel the characterization of Aang in the adaptation?
You know, it's interesting because it's definitely different because and it's one of those things where because in the show not only was he like, you know, a kid, but also because he was the kind of kid that was like shirking his responsibilities like you all mentioned earlier. You know, he doesn't have a lot of interest in pursuing the role of the Avatar in the animated show. In the live action show, they make him much more determined to follow that path and to try to like, you know, try to live like he feels guilty for having right. And so because of that, he's like, let me make sure I focus and do this. And it's an interesting change. Like I know that there's like especially like a lot of hardcore fans are very unhappy about that change among others. I know for myself,
like, let our characters grow. Like let them have their bad traits and then grow. Like grow around them. Like I don't know, trying to strip all the bad traits off the characters, it just makes them less interesting.
I mean, I agree that, you know, you definitely want to give your characters some flaws. And
do
the
you think
flaws will impact them.
Do you think the change in characterization came from like saving money? Because he likes to have fun and ride penguins and stuff. He likes to ride any animal, really, that he can.
I don't think it's money. I think it's time. Like I literally think they're like, hey, we got these episodes, and it's like you know, and that's the thing with Avatar the series. The series technically has what would be or what could be termed as like filler episodes, even though they're not really like filler. It's just more so about like it's giving the characters moments to breathe. Right, exactly. Like, you know, the kind of relationships that or you see the moments where the relationships get built in the show. And the series, because it has less episodes, doesn't have the economy of time. And so I think that, you know, that's why some of those decisions got made. Like, and you know, like, let me put it like this. I definitely don't feel like you had to have Aang be a kid and just like, silly and like just wanting to play, and that's his whole thing, and you change, you have to let him develop into the person that wants to pursue becoming the Avatar. Like, I don't feel like that is necessarily or that is necessary to a good adaptation of the original series. I don't feel like it's necessary. However, I do agree that, the characters in this show don't feel like they have much of an arc, especially in comparison to the original show. So I can definitely get why people would be
I
unhappy
want to
about
agree
it.
with you, and I get it in Ong's case. But like I said, Sokka and his sister, they get their growth scenes. They're there. It's just there's no impact. They don't. There's no growth. There's no change in them. But the scenes that give you those moments are still there.
Well, like the scenes are, there are scenes that are there, but they serve a different purpose in the TV show than they do in the Netflix show than they do in the Nickelodeon show. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh, like they're doing it better in the Netflix adaptation versus the Nickelodeon show, the original show, because I don't feel that. But I guess what I am saying more so is like there's a way that they could have done it and made the changes, and you still get the characterization, or you get more characterization, more of an arc, even flaws, because it's like I think at the end of the day, where the show kind of suffers is more so in some of the like the writing. Like they don't always, they tell you more than they show you. And if they were showing more, I think people would feel like the characters resonate a little bit better. But that's
What I
just
can say
what I think.
is for me, the live action adaptation is what I wish I would have gotten when everybody was telling me how cool Avatar was. Yeah, and now that I have both, like I'm enjoying both. I have options.
Yeah, and I think right, and I think that that's what it boils down to, where it's like, it's not like the Netflix series, like by no means, or there's no possibility, and thank goodness for this fan base being the way it is, right? It's like, it's not like the Netflix series is going to overwrite the original show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like Transformers, where no, you can't even say MCU. It's like Transformers is the example where it's like
like Guardians of the Galaxy like looks like shit. The comic looks like shit now because of those fucking movies.
Listen, you don't know anything about any Guardians of the Galaxy comic books. Stop that, Mo. Like, like you listen. They changed the costumes some. It's not like
I don't like those costumes.
But what I'll say is this: as a Transformers fan, it's like I gotta have friggin' battle action Bumblebee in like every show, and it's just like it's crazy the idea that Bumblebee, the scout, that is like like basically the Transformer that's supposed to be your buddy, that you can like be like, oh yeah, I can hang out with Bumblebee as a kid, is like the dude that's like the leader in almost every show that's Transformers. That's not. I mean, well, that's everything just about.
I think the comic did it really well when they made him leader.
I agree, and they did. What if actual Bumblebee had to lead the Transformers? Which that's fine. I have no problem with. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying, why is like, first of all, Bumblebee half the time has that faceplate, and I'm like, son of a bitch! Like, what in the world is this faceplate? And so Avatar, like the Netflix series, no one has to worry about, one, the characterizations like overtaking like the more like the what we
The
fans
lore.
know as Avatar: The
Yeah.
Last Airbender. Yeah, the lore, right? Exactly. But but even more so, it's like I personally feel like despite the flaws in the adaptation, like you can tell the people in this show like have a healthy respect for the original, like the source material, like much more so than, especially when you talk about things, how things get adapted in this day and age. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example in that regard. But even like shoot,
all of a sudden, that's a good example.
it's a good example of people not caring about the source material. Not a good example of things getting overrated. But also, like something like which, as much as I enjoy it, Foundation, not J Random's album, but the Foundation series, the sci-fi series on Apple TV Plus. It's like Foundation, like, I mean, they'll tell me that they like have a healthy respect for the source material, but it's like I don't know. Like, I love that show. It's unrecognizable as a Foundation show, except for maybe Harry Seldon.
So,
maybe.
Why do you think the creators left? The Avatar creators left production.
So, I don't know that there's any definitive reason given outside of creative differences. So, we don't know for certain. But from what I've heard, and this is rumor mill stuff, so take it with a grain of salt. What I heard is the creators actually wanted to change stuff more. Like supposedly they wanted to like have like an Avatar,
The Kirkman.
Wait, a Kurt? Why? Oh, I hear you. Like, yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah. Where it's just like they wanted to remix things
in that medium, what they didn't want to do, what they couldn't do in that medium, or felt they got a better idea later, and they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Maybe now we can explore this. And look, if it's the same creators, I don't mind doing them. Like, have your Avatar verse. I'm down. Like if it's the same people doing it, it's like, yeah, I would love to. I would. It's like getting those like Prince albums that are like the stuff he wasn't ready to like really make into songs, but it's like, yeah. Now that he's gone, it's like, yeah, I want to hear I want to see his journals. I want to see what he was working on, what the ideas, the process. Because as somebody that likes, that likes creating fiction, it's like, man, if I can see some of the process or see alternate versions of it, like, I love that. Yeah.
Right.
So they wanted to kind of do like Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, something like that. And they didn't want to make the same thing. And I think and again, like I said, grain of salt, because this hasn't been confirmed by any, like, nobody that has worked on the show or that is like nobody that's currently working on the show has said that this is the reason, and no one and the original creators haven't come out and said, oh, it was because of this. But yeah, the rumor mill is that they wanted to maybe do something more along the lines of a Brian Lee O'Malley with the Scott Pilgrim Netflix series, and remix or change stuff up, and that's not what they wanted to do.
Netflix like, no, we've been listening to Fantastic Four. Like, we saw what happened with Moses Magnum and Sam. We're not doing that shit again. So we're getting like one piece the way we're doing, and then this now, and it's like I'm loving every bit of it. It's like,
yeah. So again, I don't. Who knows if that's actually the case?
But show, right, Mo?
I haven't watched it like after that. Like, it's not that I hate it. It's just like, I like the original story. Yeah.
The original story's still there.
Yeah, and it ain't in animated form.
So they remixed it, and you don't want anything to do with it.
It's fine. It's for somebody else. It's for people that want it. Rob Zombie.
It is, in fact, for people that
Rob Zombie made some remix albums, and some of those were good. And it's like, yeah, that's for people who like the remixes. Some of the songs are good. the whole album isn't great, but I'll listen to like How to Make a Monster Baby remix, like the remix of How to Make a Monster, and the original song is like the How to Make a Monster remix is way better than the original album release. A lot of like Rob Zombie, a lot of Rob Zombie songs, like he does that. Like when it's like, oh, I want your song on my soundtrack. He'll remix an old song and do just like, okay, this is the version for you. Like you did it for the Matrix, you did it for like the Crow, a bunch of movies.
That's a great idea.
And so he's just like, yeah, you'll just get the same song you already like, but you get a remix of it because he likes, dropping acid and playing with the soundboard. Yeah.
You know who else was cool like that? But not in the same way, but was like Wyclef Jean. Like,
oh yeah,
Wyclef used to mess around and like I remember like buying the friggin' maxi single for Gone to November.
Yeah.
And that joint was like, which I love the song Gone to November. Yeah. Gone to November. Yeah. But that joint, that maxi single had like I want to say like 8 tracks. Like maybe it was either 6 or 8 tracks.
Yeah.
And it was all different versions of Gone to November and then like an acapella or not acapella, instrumental.
Instrumental, acapella, radio edit, and maybe like the xylophone mix.
No. Yeah. It had the original and it had the instrumental.
Yeah.
I don't think it had the acapella, but the other like 5 or 6 tracks were like all different versions of Gone to November. And I'm talking about like completely different. Like different verses, different music. It was crazy.
And it's funny awesome that you bring that up because that's one of the things. Like this is Larry. We need to do a music show now because this is a whole conversation. Because I feel like genres got melded together in the 70s. Like everybody in the 70s music area just used the same instruments, the same synthesizers, same guitars, same instruments, same recording studios, and that's why music was really good in the 70s, right? And then in the 90s we had that, but they didn't use the same, but they started using computers, and you got that. Like how you mentioned Wyclef Jean, like the Lunchbox maxi single for Marilyn Manson, where he just does Lunchbox 8 different times, 8 different ways. David Bowie did the song I'm Afraid of Americans. He did one with Ice Cube. He did one with Marilyn Manson. He did one with Trent Reznor. Like 6 different versions of I'm Afraid of Americans. And it's like, and that's kind of like a correlation. It's like, and my favorite era for music has been the 90s and the 70s, and it's like that's the 2 correlations. We just did a mini podcast for Patreon.
There it is. There it is. But yeah, man. So yeah, I do feel like, I mean, I guess here's the other thing that happens with The Last Airbender when it comes to talking about the adaptation. And this is something, for me, where this, I'm just putting my own personal bias out here. It's hard for me not to think about the movie when looking at the TV show. And I feel like that's obviously a plus for the live action TV show. It's a plus for the live action TV show because like that's like a low bar to clear. But it's like, being a fan of the franchise and like looking forward and hoping that, when it did get adapted, that it would be good too. And then seeing that movie, it's just like, dude, like that is the worst. So it's like, like my own biases out there where I'm like, anything that's better than that, like, because that was the thing. Like when I heard the creators left and left the production, and I'm like, oh man, that's unfortunate. That doesn't bode well. But then when I saw what the characters look like, I'm like, dude, they look great. You know what I'm saying? Like the production value of the show looked like it was on point, and I'm just like, look, I'm more than willing to give this joint a chance. And it is interesting because it is very divided. Like, Kat, there are a lot of people that are not a fan of this new Netflix series.
Maybe I'm the avatar for the series because I actually I enjoyed the movie too. It's like,
no, you didn't. No, don't say that.
I felt the flaw was it was too rushed. Like it's like the show took a little long with the whimsy, It was it was stretched out because of the whimsy. The show boiled it down to like what I like. But realistically, if I can get a mixture of the show, the live action TV show, and the cartoon with a little bit of whimsy too, like I think I would be really happy. And then the movie should have been that, but it wasn't. And you know, but like seeing these characters in 3 different iterations, watching the movie, and you know, Emily hated the movie. She's like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
like
terrible.
this is terrible.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Nonsensical.
Part of the problem for me was it was just really everything I've already seen is just too rushed. And look, I like rushing. Don't get me wrong. You know, I don't believe in foreplay, but that's a myth made by the Democrats. But but the show kind of, you know, they give you the boil and the simmer, you know, and it does it well. And but the cartoon, watching the cartoon and the show together, like I'm experiencing some really cool shit. I love it all.
Yeah,
I feel like I am now the biggest Avatar Last Airbender fan on the air, because
that's
I find a way to
hilarious.
do all 3 of them. Yeah.
So one of the things, well, okay, the series does everything better than the movie, but one of the things that I like is Aang's the arrow, how it's like the solid blue, but it has the tattoos inside of it, like it has the patterns inside of it. So like they did what Shyamalan did, except competently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All they did was invert the contrast. Like, but somebody can do a fiber. But it, again, it's a really easy decision that just like somehow they couldn't get right on one and got better on the other. Because you know, just from watching the cartoon, I'm like, I could just see it's just a solid tattoo, you know, like and then it glows. Like I'm down, you know, and then but I'll see in the Netflix, it's like, oh, there's designs in it, and then I saw the M. Night Shyamalan, and it's like that's supposed to look like Arrow, but it's kind of like it doesn't have no clear edges. Like at least outline it. Like any tattoo artist, even like an apprentice, will tell you, outline first. You know, so at least outline the shape of the arrow, and then put your symbols inside. You know.
I will say that you know, the Netflix show makes some changes to, like, you know, makes some changes to the source material, and you know, some of those are definitely for the worse, but there are some that are actually like pretty good.
Are they
Where
really that bad?
you know,
Like when you say for the worst, like it is for like, is it that bad? The changes? Like,
I don't think any of the changes honestly are that bad. Because I don't think the changes are the problem. I think the problem is more so like the execution. You know, because like I know like a lot of people. I mean, like even we brought up the whole Sokka and how he had like the whole sexism thing, which kind of became a big thing for fans, where there's like they should not have changed that aspect of him. I don't know. For me, I'm like I don't necessarily feel like it's that big of a deal that they changed that. I do think it is a key component of
the character,
how they of how the character grows in the original show, but they made him more mature in this show, in the Netflix show, and so it kind of goes with that. It seems like for me, where I'm just like,
but
oh no, I mean,
it weakens other characters too, and not just him. Like it affects the people he interacts with.
You feel like it weakens the other characters, like with that.
Yeah, like the whole thing with Suki. We'll go back to that. Like, their attraction came from a mutual respect of him willing to learn and like actually picking up what she was teaching, to the point that he knocks her on her ass at one point, and that's when they like start getting a little bit hot and heavy. And in this show, it's like she sees him and he water bends her nether regions, and they're ready to go. Like she's just a horny teenager in this show.
Well, I mean, but I feel like
sees him with his shirt off, and that's the moment that she wants to hit that. Like it's not. There's nothing.
As a fellow misogynist, you should be fine with that too, because it's like that's all we need to do as dudes. Just show our bellies.
Hey, he
show our bellies.
It was a lot more impactful relationship, and she found somebody worthy of her in the animated. And that doesn't happen in this show. She just sees a dude with his shirt off. They make it seem like it's the only dude she's ever seen, and so that's all it takes.
Well, it's not, but like, see, in this show, I feel like he represents, or in the Netflix show, I feel like he kind of represents the outside world, which is something that she was already kind of like in kind of like flirting with already. And then
like in the Netflix, it could have been anybody. It's like, oh, you've been to 3 continents. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know about anybody, but yeah, but I mean, it doesn't.
It's more of the exoticism. Like he's more fetishized than she is like a peer, the respect warrior.
Right. But that's the thing where I think that it starts off like more infatuation and you said, like, fetishize, exotic, and then they develop into a mutual respect for one another,
they turn my boy into a piece of meat.
It's a different, it is a completely different dynamic in relationship dynamic in the Netflix show versus
I wish he would have worn
the original series. And I do think the original series is more satisfying, no question on that. Like I'm with you on that. I just think that it's not like something where I'm just like But as far as like good changes, like I love what they did with Zuko and the battalion he saved being his crew. Like that was super cool, and then also too, I like the design change they made with the friggin' ocean spirit. Like I mean, it's definitely more Godzilla inspired, but it was like from a kaiju perspective, like especially going back and like looking at the animated version of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I can see why they made that change. Like I don't know if because it's definitely much more giant koi fish in the animated joint than it is in the live action.
Did the animated? Because I don't remember, the animated series never showed the actual Airbender genocide, did it?
I don't think it does, right?
Like I know they refer to it and they mention it, but I don't think they ever actually showed it. Because I
don't think it does.
I saw that, and that was like kind of an interesting thing to watch how it happens, and
well, even
I agree with you.
I draw comparisons like in that with this with also One Piece, because like One Piece shows you like the hanging of the king of the pirates, like, and it was a big thing, and that was the opening of the live action, but it really like that's something that cartoon doesn't have, and it's like, man, but when I saw that in the live action, I'm like, man, I gotta watch this cartoon, but it's something they added after, like it's spoken of, maybe they showed it in later episodes, but it is spoken of. It's an event in their history that is pivotal,
right.
And I feel like when they don't show them in the source material, like the Netflix, like that's the formula now, like they show it to you, like that's the one thing they add a little different, I just wish they would have gotten Sandman right. Like maybe if Sandman would have come out next year, we would have probably had a better show.
So what else do we want to say about Avatar: The Last Airbender before we do some ratings?
You can't see it because my camera doesn't work, but I have arrows on my hands and forehead. And, I love it all. Like I'm even a fan of the Shyamalan movie. 5 out of 5 across the board. Like I blame you.
We'll just jump right to the.
Just fell asleep and they got him with a Sharpie.
No, it's makeup brushes. Like she did it. She's like, hey, you want to show those off on camera for the show, but my camera's not working.
There it is.
When you actually try to make content, you don't have a webcam ready. What happened? Like, subscribe, hit the bell for more content.
Oz, what would you rate Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Easily a 4. It's still a good show. And obviously, if you don't read comics or watch anime, then you'll probably think it's a 5.
Yeah.
Why would
Jay,
you say anime?
what about you, bud?
Like, there's no anime.
So far, and unfortunately, I was sick, so I did not get to watch the entire series. But from what I did see so far, it's a 4. Like, it's not as good as the cartoon, but it's decent. Like, it does a lot of good shit. Surprisingly so, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 4, I think is the right.
I'm not
answer
sure about
too.
Azula yet.
Yeah. Like, and honestly, like some of the characterizations, like Azula being one of them, is like I almost gave it a 3.5. Almost. But then I was like, and then I was like, I don't even know if I'd do like 3.75. Like that seems weird. Might just give it the 4. It's like, but Azula is one of those points where it's like it's an interesting change and one where I'm like not certain if it's for the better, where you have Fire Lord like almost like pitting his kids against one another a little bit, like Azula's like not the favorite, which is like definitely a departure. And but it might work. Like I do feel like the young lady that they have playing her, which I know she kind of gets flack or been getting a lot of flack on the internet. I think that she actually
because she looks too young.
I don't think it's just about that, even though that I think there's some people that I've seen that too, but they don't like her acting, and then also too they don't like the characterization because you have like those.
Wow, she's 21.
Just the random.
I thought she was like 12.
Dude, she looks like a child.
Yeah,
she doesn't look like a child. She just has a round face. She has like those cheeks.
I was looking at her and I was like, damn, couldn't they get someone older to play Azula?
That's hilarious.
Man, like between that and her not looking crazy.
See, and that's the thing where I think she can get to the crazy. I think she can, but that's the controversial part of or not controversial, but one of the changes they decided to go to in this show, in the Netflix show, where they decided to like have her kind of be like jealous of Zuko, which is like it's a little weird if you know the character, but at the same time, it's like if I did know the character, like if I hadn't watched a whole different show with an arc that I'm expecting, I think I would be fine with it. And
apparently she's jealous.
You mean in the Netflix show?
In the comics.
Oh, in the comics. Yeah, well, yeah, but the comics, I mean, that's like a whole story, like years and years of story having gone by.
That's
right?
our agenda with Jay, because they are on IDW, so you can get those.
Got it. There it is. Shameless plug. No, but no, I mean, and so it's different, but it's cool. Like like it's definitely not a deal breaker by any means. Where it's just one of those things where I'm like, like it's wild because
seems weird
I think
she's always in charge, or she always
right.
thinks she's in charge,
Mm-hmm.
Unless she's talking to a boy, then she gets all fucking weird.
And then it's also strange because it's like, technically, you don't need her in the first season. Like, if you had put her in like season 2, or even if you just have her show up at the end of season 1, like, almost like a post-credit scene or the final scene of the thing, like just the same scene we saw actually with her last scene in the show. It's like, which you haven't seen yet, but if you just that by itself could have been her introduction, and if she was like a little bit crazy, wild-eyed or whatever, introduction to her, and people that don't know
her
who that is.
introduction was kind of weak.
Yeah. So, but it's like say, it is what it is.
If I give one thing to the Shyamalan movie, is that Azula was in it at the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She looked good too.
Also, too, I feel bad, but because it didn't mention it more earlier, but Zhao was amazing.
Oh, never mind.
What? What?
No, I thought you were gonna. No, never mind. Continue.
He was coming. He's been jerking off the whole time. That's why his camera's off.
No. Our buddy, in the early days of Fantastic Forum, when we were like grinding, hitting the pavement, and meeting comic professionals, Joshua Helfiakov, he wrote episode 2 of the Netflix series, and here's a little proof that I knew him back in the day.
Oh, look at
we
Moses.
met in a dark alley behind the
Moses is high.
Yeah.
That interview was so great.
Because
it's so fun. Interview. Like I actually I showed Larry the videos. He's like, "Where's?" No, yeah, we have all the footage because we used to use before we invented cloud here at Fantastic Forum. We just use YouTube as our cloud. So we have all these videos stored with no tags or nothing, and his interviews are some of those. So I'm actually I told Larry, I'm like, you know what, man, I'm gonna edit a Meet Moses in the Dark Alley series, because we do have a series of interviews in that dark alley while I was high as fuck and talking about comics and shit. But yeah, Jay, continue. Yeah. Tell me your experience of that moment. No, you were our cameraman there. Yeah.
Yeah, after the interview, I did get to record myself asking a question. And at the time, he had been doing, I think, American Vampire, right?
I Vampire.
I Vampire.
Yeah.
And so I asked him about Twilight. And he is trying so hard to be diplomatic. Like he's literally straining himself to say the diplomatic answer, whatever gets kids writing or reading. It's really funny.
And to the degree, in the end, he was kind of right. Yeah, we got him into whatever could get him into vampires. Yeah.
Forget about the vampire. So wait, so can I finish my thing I was about to say, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say Zhao was really good. Like, as far as the casting, Zhao was awesome. And also Fire Lord Ozai, dude.
Pyro looks like too. Ozai.
Dude, it's so good. Not only does he look like it, it feels like he might be the best casted person in the whole show, because it's just the intimidation factor. I would not be surprised if this fool could firebend in real life. I'm sold.
Yeah, he looks like him. He sounds like him. He is great.
dude, it's so
and
good.
It's like I'm looking at the characters, and Sokka, Katara, a lot lighter than they are in the cartoon. Even Suki is a lot lighter, and you're just looking at the characters, like kind of subconsciously comparing them to like how they looked in the cartoon. And it's like, yeah, I see what they're doing. And holy fuck, they pulled Ozai out of the cartoon. Like,
right. No, dude. So good.
The guy that plays Zhao thought he was auditioning for the James Cameron Avatar.
Shut up! Really?
That was one of the news stories. He said, "Yeah, I thought I was
funny
auditioning for James Cameron, and then I got this one."
Well, I'm very happy that he wasn't in. Well, that he got this role because he's great. Like, I mean, that dude has been phenomenal for a long time. But
and Aang looks like Aang.
Yeah, and he sounds like him too.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, it's good. I got to give that kid credit.
Suki's
Like,
got
I feel
the
like
sound.
Yeah,
I really like all the casting all around. Myself,
it's not bad casting by any means.
And when you compare it to the M. Night Shyamalan, where it's like, because Emily's like, oh man, like they're the only white people in that. Well, they're Norwegians, like I try to make excuses for it because I was enjoying it. Like, they're Norwegian. Like, what do Norwegians look? They live in the snow.
Norwegian.
And then it's like, then the grandma comes out. I was like, oh, at least the grandma's white too. But it's like, they don't look like they're related to anybody in that fucking village, and even like, like even the they made the firebenders like Indian, and it's like, yeah, like I like the actor they used for I forget the dude's name, but the firebender guy with the scar, but
Zuko.
Zuko.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, but it's like, yeah, that's not what he should look like, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No. All right, you guys ready to transition to the Bad Batch?
Yes.
Let's do it. It's like I asked all these questions rhetorically. Apparently, no. I appreciate the answers that came.
That was Dev Patel in the movie.
Yeah.
He was great. Like everybody in the live action movie was good. It was just bad casting. Like the movie
I would
itself
disagree, but that's just me.
No, I mean they did their part, and they're good actors. They're just not for that part,
Yeah, they're not untalented people, if that's what you're saying. Like,
because even the guy that played Ong was pretty good too. Like let's find work for this guy too now. Like, can we get a cameo on the show?
Yeah. So, okay. So, Oz has gone dark.
Are you current on Bad Batch, or am I the only one current?
It started, or it comes on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't watched, like, say, today's episode, if that,
so
or is it one or two?
Current.
How many episodes is it? 2?
No,
it premiered with 3.
3, okay.
And
so 4.
One episode today.
Okay.
Yeah, so 4. Okay.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I wasn't certain if it was just one episode, because I know sometimes they release like 2 at once.
Yeah, I didn't bother watching it because, like, I want to watch the whole thing, and they're not going to release the whole thing.
I mean,
3
episodes is like half the season, right?
Again, I don't want to watch half the season. I watch the whole thing. That's how we got to Avatar. Yeah, so it's like they get my money. Yeah,
there it is. So yeah, but I haven't watched today's episode. So, Jay, do you want to tell us like where we start off in season 3 of the Bad Batch?
Okay, so in season 3, Omega has been captured, and Wrecker and Hunter are basically looking for her. After she gets captured. And so we go into this season with Omega's daily life in captivity and Wrecker and Rex combing the galaxy trying to find her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's pretty much that's where we're at. And I mean, it's interesting because I know like the last season definitely like ended on a low. Like it was definitely like it's friggin' Empire Strikes Back season. But I guess that makes this the Return of the Jedi season, but we'll see. Because it's not like stuff starts off. Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. Like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's interesting because things aren't going great for the Bad Batch. And so it's like, I mean, I guess technically they're making some progress, but
I mean, they have a home away from home.
That's true. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an interesting, it's interesting. Like, I know for personally, like, since the first time I saw these characters, uh, in that final season of Clone Wars or whatever, I was like, dude, I love them. I love those characters. But it's interesting though because it's like going along the journey with each of them, and then also too, like, I mean, I'm not trying to spoil anything or whatever, but like where they are. No, like where they are now.
Of the season, like they've had time to catch up.
where these characters?
Episode 4.
What? Why?
We have to talk about it.
We don't. It came out today. Like, can I watch it after the show? Give me a break.
We'll see.
Know what I'm saying? Why did you get to see it so quick? Like, weren't you at work today? You watched it at work?
I watched it during lunch.
See, I'm telling.
I can do it during lunch.
No, I'm gonna make sure they dock your pay. But no, man. It's like, the team has been through a lot. Like the squad has been through a lot, and they're definitely at a much different place than where you see them when you start, like when you first see them. And it makes for me at least, it makes for interesting television. But man, like I feel bad. I feel bad for them. And I think that's because I just like them so much.
I know one of the things that happens with me is I keep thinking like it's all story based. Because like how you watch a show and like an actor will leave or a character will leave because the actor wanted to do something else or got fired or got in trouble, and it's like, no, he's being played by the same guy that's still there. So like when Echo leaves, it's like, yeah, that guy's still acting, so it's all story based. I don't know, that's just maybe trivia, but I just keep thinking about that. It's like, yeah, that guy's not like still the same guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when something else happens, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, that's story. Because the guy that plays him is still there.
Yeah. Oh man, they get put through the ringer. And
but there is good news.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, you already know.
I don't know.
Because Omega's not in captivity alone.
Oh, okay. I do know that. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Right.
And fun.
Right.
Like, seeing them work off each other is, I mean, yeah, it's classic. And you might be tired of it, but I think they pull it off well.
Well, listen, I will say that Crosshair is like, or Crosshairs is like one of my favorite members.
He's great.
Yeah, and has been since the beginning. And even when we get to the point where this fool like leaves the squad, it was just like, wow. Like, I mean, I know for me, I was just like, dude, that's such a great story development. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but he's gonna come back, you know. But man, it sure wasn't like it hasn't happened to this point.
Well, I mean, we get a couple of we do get a couple of episodes with him.
Oh no. Yeah, we got he's still
missions.
in the show. He's in the show. Like, I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm just saying that it's one of those things where it felt like, or I guess if this was like, say, a more typical show, he would have been out of the group and been gone on the other side for a little bit, but then would have been back with the group, like, say, you know, maybe by the end of the season or maybe the beginning of the next season or whatever. But to this point, like, you know, Crosshairs has not like actually, and he's you know, there's been episodes where it's him and the other, like, he's come face to face with the other members of the squad of the Bad Batch since he's left. But yeah, man, it's like a lesser show would have definitely just been like, oh, okay, yeah, he had his moment, but we brought him back. And it's like, I'm like, it makes me happy the way that they're doing this. Just because, like, when you talk about, man, like this guy had to go through a journey, you know, and it's like bad stuff is happening to all of them. But man, it's just like, yeah, each of them has definitely gone through some stuff. The ironically enough, the one that probably has gone through the least though is probably Wrecker. But that's just because I think the nature of his personality, where he's just like,
right,
he lets stuff bounce off of him physically and emotionally, you know.
Yeah.
Even though, like, don't get me wrong, I don't mean to downplay, you know, because honestly, he's just a positive guy too. Ironically enough, yeah. So I don't know. Oz, have you have any thoughts on this season, man? Like, was there any like I mean, which I don't remember. Like, did you watch the first seasons at all, or no?
No, I don't watch any of that crap.
Okay, so you literally just was like, okay, they want to talk about this for the show.
Yeah, I jumped in season 3, whatever, and jumped back out.
Jump back out. It was like in, out.
Look, I haven't seen any of it, so I'm jumping in, and okay, there's a recap, and then in the recap, there's a goddamn lightsaber bow and arrow. So already I'm annoyed.
Arrow.
Yeah, there's like an energy based bow and arrow in the recap.
But energy based and lightsaber bow and arrow aren't the same thing, right?
I mean, a lightsaber is an energy based sword.
Yeah, but
this is
everything
closer
that's energy
to
based
the technology the Night Sisters use.
Whatever. So I was already annoyed.
Whatever, Star Wars nerd.
And then this show was sold to me
stuff.
as this group of rejected clones that are actually like incredible badasses going around effing stuff up. And all I get is like this little girl on a ship, like just complaining a lot.
Oh, she is a prisoner.
She didn't kill nobody. Like, I didn't see a bad batch. I just saw like some little girl wandering around.
Weren't
it's boring.
members of the Bad Batch in the first episode too, though?
Not that.
Or was it all Omega?
There might have been one that was a prisoner, but he was like just pathetic.
Yeah, they don't come till the second episode. You don't see Wrecker and Hunter.
So that's really interesting, just because like I know from your perspective, Oz, you're just like, dude, like, okay, you're telling me that these guys are badasses, but you're not, like, I'm not seeing any of that.
Yeah, I don't get any of it. So watch the first one. I'm out.
So you didn't even watch the second one?
No, why would I watch the second one if I couldn't stand the first one?
So you said the same thing happened with Mo?
With the Sonic the Hedgehog, when we reviewed that comic, like he was upset because Sonic wasn't in the first story. I think you were too, but Mo especially.
I would have just been happy if it felt like something happened in that first episode. And maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe it did, but I don't know enough about who these people are to understand what was happening.
No, I get that. Like
100%.
Yeah, like as someone that's watched it all, like I could understand you coming into season 3 and being like, like I totally get it.
Yeah, well, I agree, and because it doesn't.
I do think you should have watched the second one, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and it's interesting just because
Vines in it.
I liked that episode, even though I don't know if Oz would have. Maybe, I don't know, but it's interesting though because it is one of those things that kind of goes to show where it's it's season 3, but the first episode of season 3 potentially could be somebody's first episode, and if that's your first impression, it's like, or your first opportunity to get somebody on board to your show, it's like, you might want to take that into account in regards to like what kind of episode are you going to be showing first.
I'll be honest, I would rather lose a viewer than change the pace of the season.
I agree. F Oz. You're right.
No, not specifically, but
Oz specifically.
As someone that's been watching, like, I appreciate that episode where it is. And I would say, I'm okay with, like, especially since it's the final season, like, we don't need extra people watching aren't going to help. Like, it's over.
It's done.
So I would rather have this moment as it is.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I get where Oz is coming from.
Yeah.
I would say, and it goes almost for any series, it's like sometimes you deserve to have that slow start for your season. You're like slow burn. You're like, catch your breath, especially in the age of binging. These catch your breath sort of season starter, I think, is okay.
Yeah, man, that's a really interesting take, Oz. Just because I get it, like, and like I'm with, like Joe said, I'm with you. at the same time, man, it's like I know as a person that has been watching the show, like that first episode is exactly like what I wanted to know about. like if I had watched episode 2, I would have spent, or if episode 2 was the first episode, I probably would have spent the majority of that episode wondering what was going on with Omega.
Now, Mayor, do you think if Oz had started with the season finale of 2, that would have improved his experience?
I 100% feel that Oz would have appreciated that the final episode of season 2 more than he did the first episode of season 3. Yeah, just because from an action perspective, like it delivers on what I would suspect Oz thought he was going to be getting. But honestly, I do feel like the show builds on itself, and I almost feel like you have to, like, not only do you have to watch it from the beginning, but I feel like you got to watch like the backdoor pilot episode, like like you gotta watch every episode. But if you watch every episode, by the time you get to season 3, you're like, yeah, I'm here for it. I don't feel like our experience is a unique experience. I think everybody that's watched the show, like, is here.
Sounds like a lot of work.
So you're okay with me not watching it at all, like season 3?
Joe has.
I mean,
Joe said you weren't even worth him mentioning.
Yeah.
Like that's how Joe
he was
feels about it.
muted at
Jay's
the
like,
time.
Yeah,
Jay said
my
F Oz
mom
and
I was talking to my mom.
Right.
Jay said F Oz, and
I mean,
you don't even get half a bar from Jay, says Jay.
people watching, like new people watching, is great. Like, made people watch the season 3 beginning and it inspire them to watch from the beginning.
I watched the first two.
Made it happen.
I watched the first 2 and the backdoor pilot. Like, in fact, I watched the backdoor pilot out of sync with the rest of Clone Wars. That's how committed I was. So it's
Right.
like,
Nice.
So, but I watched everything, and that's why I'm like, yeah, we're reviewing that. I know I'm gonna give it a 5. So I'm not gonna. I'd rather watch M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie.
They're
real
good
experience.
characters, man.
They
I think
are,
he's
but
like
it's
saying
like,
backdoor pilot.
huh?
I think he just like saying backdoor pilot.
Nah, well, you don't even know nothing about backdoor pilot either. Like, I also watched Shogun on FX that just premiered. That was pretty good.
I heard that was good too.
Oh, it's fucking tight.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a
part of the
side
reason
story
I watched
to Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Well, no, it takes
Is it
place.
like-
It's prequel. It's a prequel.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Blue-Eyed Samurai Gaiden.
Yeah, in the historical fiction context, not the story, But it's also it's also like a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima too, like on the historical context. So I'm in.
There it is.
Like, yeah, it's like that's why. Well, you can't tell, but that's why I'm wearing glasses because my eyes already look Chinese from smoking weed. But if I put glasses, it look Japanese.
What is Moses talking
I'm gonna
about?
leave that
Like
alone.
who unmuted Mo? No.
Me. Nobody
Okay.
mutes me.
Jay, what else you have to say about Bad Batch before, or season 3 premiere before we rate it?
Honestly, just I'm enjoying it. Like, the storytelling is consistent. The animation is what it's been for the past 2 seasons. I still wish there was more killing, but that's a me thing. I get it.
That is in fact a you thing. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so what would you rate it, Jay? What would you rate?
I would give it a 4 out of 5. Like, I like what's happening. I like what's going on. needs a little more killing. And I think there's like one line of dialogue that I would have changed.
What's that?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. Oscore, what would you rate Bad Batch Season 3?
I'm going to go with 2, with the asterisk that I've only ever seen the first episode of Season 3, so I have no idea what's happening. Apparently, according to you guys, it's more enjoyable if I do a bunch of homework.
Well, you just watch it when it came out.
Yeah.
Wait, what now?
No, like it's not homework. It's like he should have been watching it when it came out. Like we did reviews of the series. You know.
Honestly, I think if you kept going, you would eventually start to enjoy it and see what everyone is talking about.
No, I agree. Stockholm Syndrome is a thing.
Right. But yeah. Like you would I think you would enjoy it if you kept going, but that's just my thoughts.
Well, especially from all the like problems he had with Ahsoka and all that, like you don't get none of that bullshit here. Like this is literally like Rambo with clone troopers. You know what I mean?
And not the first episode.
No,
that's, that's what I expected.
I'm talking about the watch from the first season. Like this is you're getting third blood here. Rambo,
like
3.
literally, one of them has like a red bandana, like Rambo.
Like literally, the second episode of season 3 is them in the jungle.
Yeah,
right.
Like
it is them in the jungle.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go watch.
And it's like it doesn't. The first one holds up. The rest don't.
The first season?
No, Rambo. The first episode. The first blood.
That's what I heard.
If you watch, yeah. Rambo. The first Rambo
is about PTSD.
It's about PTSD, and it really is a testament for letting our veterans smoke weed.
And the rest are just generic action flicks.
Right. They're all just Cobra, but with guns. Well, bigger guns.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, Cobra has guns. Like,
yeah. Cobra has that scene where he starts in the fire. Like,
not that Cobra.
Definitely that Cobra.
No, Cobra.
Pew, pew, pew.
No, Cobra.
No, I know what you mean.
I don't know what I mean.
I know what you're talking about.
You don't know me.
What's with you? I'll give Bad Batch 4.5 out of 5 so far. I like it a lot.
And I give it 5.
Catch up,
Joe. It came out today. Today, Joe.
Yeah,
like, does it even come out at midnight?
Today started like.
But it doesn't even come out midnight,
ago.
Right? Doesn't it come
out
out
midnight?
like
midnight yesterday?
Oh, it does come out midnight?
Yeah.
No, not midnight yesterday. Midnight today.
So you've had like
midnight today was
20 hours.
Yeah. Midnight today
like 20 hours to watch it.
Was like at the end of yesterday.
Why is it 20 hours?
Because it premiered at the end of yesterday at midnight. The end of yesterday when today started, which was at midnight Tuesday. After 11:59 Tuesday.
I didn't realize it was like already like 8 something.
I do not know when our show ends.
That's what
we're not ending yet.
Like we always get the time when he's not here.
Well, listen. We've reviewed everything, and all we have is a little bit extra time to do a new story or two. So, anybody have a new story they want to talk about before we go?
They changed the rating of very
real
popular.
quickly.
Wait. Hold on, Mo. You talk first, and then let Jay go. You next. Mo.
What?
Wait, hold on.
You were
Mo.
saying something.
Was I?
Oh, hold on.
Comic book news.
We should have a like current. Well, not like that, but like
Did you say you're talking to your mom?
Yeah, I love when you guys can't see me because I can literally just say like, "Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to somebody." Yeah, but no, yeah, I was talking to you. But
What'd you say?
nah, they changed the rating of Mary Poppins to like PG-13 or some shit because of
They
some
changed
weird
it to PG.
PG. Is that what it is? Yeah, because of a
from G to
slur.
PG.
Yeah,
There's a racial
there's
slur
apparently
in Mary Poppins?
yeah, something they call African
Against
people.
what race? Oh,
Blacks, of
jeez.
course. It's Disney. Blacks. Yeah. It's like you never saw Rafiki, like. Yeah.
So is that a bad thing or a good thing? Like, what's your thought on?
Nah,
Well,
for me, it's more like, oh man, they're changing. Like people are still watching that piece of shit. Like I hated that fucking movie. So like they
you
started
didn't like Mary
changing.
Poppins?
No, that shit was stupid.
You need to watch it with a spoon full of sugar.
No, yeah, give me a spoonful of fucking fentanyl so I could die and not watch it. Yeah.
A spoonful of fentanyl.
Yeah, I fucking hate that fucking
Okay.
movie. And it's like, the penguin walking with the Dick Van Dyke with his shitty fucking British accent. Yeah,
Didn't they remake
yeah.
Mary Poppins?
They what?
They made a
Remake?
remake, right?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I didn't give a fuck about that either. So yeah, but yeah, I guess Jay was happier about it in our Discord where he's like, yeah, at least they didn't censor it. They just let it play out, and it's like, yeah.
I'm
And then
here.
just
I
rid of
said that.
Huh?
Once you stop, I'm here. I was about to say that.
Yeah, but I want to recap people.
He said, "I'm here." He's like, can I say my stuff? Can I say what I say?
Wow, I don't think anybody who heard this word would even know what the hell it meant.
Right, it's
Well,
such
you would have to be British
or African, like at the end of a whip.
No, they didn't use it for whips.
No, it was a reference to like a specific indigenous group of South Africa.
Right.
Because it wasn't like a general term like the N-word or something like that.
Right.
It's just a specific like group.
Dude, if
I know you're
Poppins
dying to say it.
I actually
don't
even
had the N-word in it, I would definitely go watch it.
I actually don't even know how.
Have you not seen Mary Poppins?
Nah, I don't know. It's one of those movies I never got around to watching.
Oh, dude, you're so lucky. Like you are the luckiest. I envy you, Jay.
It's one of the earlier superhero movies.
Oh,
get the
bitch
fuck
flies
out of
on an umbrella. She got
Oz, are you
run out of beer? Get the fuck out of here.
Oz, have you watched Mary Poppins, Oz?
Not in like 30 years. I mean, I've seen it.
Right.
It's been like 30 years.
Okay, and that's fair. No, that's fair. And so, but do you like when you watched it as a kid? Do you remember? Like, did you like it, or were you just like, no?
I hate musicals in general.
Jesus, wow. Derek H. Tell the people where you're calling from and what your relationship is with Mary Poppins.
Hello, I'm Derek H. I'm calling from NoHo. I don't know. I don't have a funky rhyme for it.
That's okay.
NoHo for the boho. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Extra for that.
I'm not surprised that Oz doesn't like something because Oz just hates like his attitude, his personality is that he hates everything. It doesn't matter. So Mary Poppins,
I think Derek is confusing
a nice white lady going around just giving people candy and helping people, and of course, and singing songs, and of course, he hates her for some reason, and it sounds like he's trying to get to the point where he says he's hated her since he was a little kid. So he has never I'm aware of her, but I never liked her. Oh, of course you didn't, Oz, because you hate everything.
I don't hate her. I hate musicals.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. You hate me too.
Well, you yeah. No, yeah, no, yeah, you yeah.
H is a musical.
You are very upsetting. I used to think that Fantastic Forum was a place where people who could love the fandom, any fandom, all fandoms were welcome. I wouldn't hate somebody because they love Mary Poppins. I wouldn't dump on Mary Poppins because she's trying to spread joy to the world. If she turns out she was a racist, then I would dislike her. But I don't think that's what has happened.
What the story is. She was a racist.
That's literally the news story. Is there's a racist story?
But she's not racist though. Nobody thinks Mary Poppins is racist. PG-13 doesn't mean racism. It means that maybe parents should think twice about having their kids watch it if they're under 13. That's all. So nobody should hate Mary Poppins, especially you, Oz. Mary Poppins would love you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
She would love you. If Mary Poppins walked into your home, she will be dancing around and cleaning up because I'm sure it's a mess. And she
wow, now he's insulting my wife.
She will hug you.
Like, oh, she can't keep up with the house.
That fool said he's insulting my wife. That's so
busy making all the money.
Next thing I say, her sandwiches probably suck too.
I'm just saying it's hard. It's difficult to love Fantastic Forum when I'm almost guaranteed when I listen in every week that somebody hate on a piece of the fandom that I kind of love. I like comic books. I like comic book movies. But I know that whenever a comic book movie comes out or a TV show, you guys I don't know about all of you guys, but at least half of you guys are going to shit on it. Just for the fact that it is a piece of fandom. For some reason, it's cool to hate everything nowadays. And there's no reason to hate comic books or comic book movies. It's not cool. You're not cool for hating stuff. Hate isn't cool.
Yeah.
Didn't we just all over Avatar, the Netflix series?
No, you hated it. You hated it, you hateful fuck.
It's to the point where why are you even watching it? It's like why do you watch it? Like when I watch a MCU show or a comic book movie, a DC comic book movie, I don't go in hating it, expecting to hate it. I go in wanting to like it.
And we watch stuff because we're reviewers.
No, I'm also mad. I'm still mad at you, Jay. I'm always mad at you. I've never stopped being mad at you because today
I don't know why you keep watching Jay if you hate him so much. Why do you hate Jay so much?
For not watching the Bad Batch when you literally have not watched stuff and your excuse is it's only been out for 2 years. I haven't had time to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier yet. It hasn't been out long enough for you to watch it. Echo, I don't have time to watch Echo. I don't have time to watch Echo. I have time to watch Hawkeye. What are you, crazy? And then when Bad Batch comes out, you're like, oh, it's been out for 20 hours. 20 hours. How dare you people?
Hey,
how dare you?
You know what? That's a valid point. That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Derek, you're misunderstanding me. You're misunderstanding me. I wasn't holding you to that standard. I hold Mayor to a standard because I love and respect him, and I need him to I need him to do good. Like I know he can be better. Yeah. And so I hold him up to a higher standard.
Not the class pants, Jay. Don't hit me with the class pants. I think you could be better.
Jay, is it as somebody that loves and respects Mayor, I am one of those too. But isn't it also so really satisfying when he fucks up that we can make fun of him?
He does it so rarely.
Really though? Rarely? Okay.
Oh, how dare you! First of all, not watching a TV show the day it comes out is not messing up. That's number one.
It kind of
number
is.
one.
If you're a member of the Fantastic Forum, you're kind of supposed to be up on those things. When I look at something and it comes out next day, I should be able to watch the Fantastic Forum and they should be up on it. They should be ahead of the curve.
I don't know what to tell you, Derek H. Like, they don't send us review copies. Like, you know,
it's on TV.
No, but we put it
on TV.
Derek, did you check out our Derek? Hold on, Derek. Did you check out our Madam Web review?
Look, I don't want to talk about Madam Web.
We did
wait, who's hating the movies now?
We literally
Valentine's Day was Madam Web.
We watched
Madam Web is the cash grab.
Oh, wait a minute, Derek H. Wait, Derek H. You just talked about
how great Mo loved Madam Web, and now you're the one talking about how you hate it. It's stupid.
How we hate things here, and it's like no.
How the tables have turned.
I like Madam Web.
Yeah, like we gave it.
Listen,
4 out of
what
5.
they did to Aranya.
Everybody that watched Madam Web for Fantastic Forum said it was a good movie, and literally was like,
"Wait a minute, what's that caveat?" Everybody, so all of you haven't watched it?
Larry didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it.
Doesn't watch it. That's why I say he always disappoints me, because that was just like last week.
Yeah,
I'm just, dude. It was like, come on, man.
That's been on for 2 weeks now. You could have seen it.
Did you see it?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, look,
yeah, I talked about it last week.
We have a new segment.
I'm sorry, wait. Who else? Wait, who else didn't see it? Was it just me?
It's just you. You're the only one not doing your due diligence for the show.
Oh man. Okay. Well, then I'll take that L. I will take that, and happily, because I don't know, man. I'll see Madam Web eventually, but I feel I don't think I can spend money.
Here, Larry, I'm gonna be pissed at you if you actually do watch it, because you got to see Ghost Rider 2 before you see Madam Web.
You haven't seen Ghost Rider 2?
No,
See,
Ghost Rider
like a weekly thing for me. It's just disappointment after disappointment.
Well, listen, Ghost Rider 1 rubbed me the wrong way so much. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend
Ghost
money
Rider
to
2
watch
is a better movie. Like Ghost Rider 2 feels like a comic book.
I hear you say that, and I remember you telling me that before, and I just don't know if I believe it.
Like even the design of the bike looks better. Like
that
the design of the jacket looks better. Like the effects look better. Like everything looks better. Even like you can't even tell that it's Nicolas Cage because he's a flaming skull all the time.
All this to say, Derek H., that I feel like Madam Web negates your argument just because these fools liked it. So, and you can't, like, if you want to talk about everybody saying it's cool to hate on something, like Madam Web is the textbook definition of that.
Like,
and everybody on Fantastic Forum that saw the movie.
People hate on it just to hate on it, like before even seeing it. Like it became a whole meme, and I'm like, dude, like that's not fair to the movie. It's not, look, it's not unfair either, but but you can, if you like Terminator 1, you can like Madam Web.
It's not as bad as it's made out to seem, I guess.
So Derek, next week you're gonna report back and let us know what your thoughts on Madam Web is after you've seen it.
Yeah, I'll go see it this week sometime.
Okay.
It will be streaming.
Derek H., if you go see it sometime this week, can I go and see it with you?
No.
Damn.
I don't trust you. I don't think I trust. I'm not sure if I trust any of the Fantastic Forum anymore. I'm looking at your pictures, and I'm like I don't trust those faces. Those aren't faces that Fantastic Forum is not trustworthy when it comes to fandom to me anymore. I'm sorry, it's true.
You don't trust his face?
Oh, Dad, you got Mo came on camera for a hot second. Listen, what is it? What is it? Like what is it that would make you not trust the opinions you're on Fantastic Forum? Because normally they're not they're not all uniform. So it's like, which is, I think, is actually
I don't come here. I don't come here
feature, not a bug, right?
For to be made fun of for being a fan of comic books. I come here.
Nobody makes fun of people for being fans of comic books. Nobody makes
you
fun
all
of
do.
any.
Oz does. Jay does. Moses does. Mary Young does.
I do, but no.
Being a fan of comic books?
For being a fan of anything. If I come out and say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on Disney Plus. I'm gonna go check that out. Guys are like, oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that show sucked.
I like Agents of
That
S.H.I.E.L.D.
show's stupid.
Listen,
everybody here likes
who
I watched the whole run of it.
I hate it, and I'm watching it right now. Like, it's
you don't know anybody that's a bigger fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than I am, Derek H.
Okay.
I guarantee you that. Like,
Derek H is just throwing out hot takes about us, thinking they could stick.
Listen. I remember, but like, I to this day, like, you can go back and listen to the show when I messed around and watched, friggin' Captain America, the friggin' Captain America, friggin'
First
sequel, and then, huh?
Oh no! I thought you were gonna talk about First Avenger.
No. The sequel, and then watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and those joints connected, and like, I talked about that experience like it was damn near the second coming, because it was so awesome. Because, like, like watching the show earlier in the week, the events leading into the movie, and then watching the fallout from what would happen in the movie in the show the following week, I was just like, dude, like, that's what I want from my comics and television all the time. And it's like, unfortunately, like, Marvel decided to go a slightly different direction, even though I guess they're like, they never did it like how they did it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though they still connect. They decided to connect.
Canon.
Is
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon right now?
Up until a certain point,
I say yes.
Until they start time traveling, then I think technically now they're in a different universe.
Nah, like, I don't even think that's the case necessarily. Maybe.
Well, they're in the future.
Eventually, they do end up in the future. That's true.
But then they go back. That future isn't the MCU future either, right? Like, it's not like after the blip or anything.
I feel like.
No, but they changed that future, because in that future, like, the Earth got split open in half, and then they changed that, and then we're back in the regular timeline.
Oh, but that's because
the regular time where they end up, or at least the last episode, is in the regular, like, what would be the standard future for the MCU, though, right? After they
destroyed what's her name, destroyed the Earth, and then they went back in time, and then it's undestroyed. I guess right now it's undestroyed, but because of the paradox, that means more than likely she will destroy the Earth again.
I feel like Coulson is going to end up back in the MCU at some point. Like, it'll probably be Secret Wars.
Coulson is officially dead in all timelines. He's dead.
Why?
He's the Coulson in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a robot. Is a light.
Yeah. I'm talking right, but I'm talking about that guy. Like, he'll be in Secret Wars, I bet.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna go and just wait for next time for you guys to disappoint me by telling me I'm dumb for liking something.
You're gonna be disappointed because we're gonna praise you for whatever you like. This is a safe space.
So right now I'm reading the Tom King run of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which nobody talks about. Look at him laughing.
The first episode, right? The first issue.
We did issue 1. We talked about
they're like issue 6 now.
Is that the one that ties into Amazon Attacks?
Things out every month, though. These comic books, they're continuous.
Right, but we're not going to talk about every issue every month. Like, we're going to talk about the number one and then like the end of the arc. If the arc comes out
some
really
milestones,
good,
Isn't that what killed the comic book industry? People only talking about issue ones. Everybody wanted only issue number ones. Isn't that what killed the comic book industry?
Hey, Derek, while I have you on the phone, you still haven't paid for your comic on eBay, your Cobra Commander.
I bought it on eBay. I didn't think I bought it on eBay, and I thought I paid for it on eBay. And I thought I lost the what do you call that? Whatever the eBay stuff is.
The invoice and everything, and it's like nope. It's still waiting for payment.
Okay, send it to me again. I'll pay for it right now. I don't care.
Hey, whatever. Maybe next time I see you, just give me the cash. Whatever. It's all good. But realistically, that's what kills the industry is getting your comics ordered and then not paying for it.
I can get the money for you when I see Derek H on Sunday, Mo, because we're gonna go watch Madam Web together.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
You're gonna break his legs for me too.
I'm
Larry's my button man. But yeah, you got a good deal because that one I did do as an auction, so he got a good deal on the cover, the variant cover, which is for issue 2. That should go up in value pretty. It might have already gone up.
Look, that stuff that stuff tricked me when I was like 12 years old. I don't ever believe anything's going up in value anymore.
No, hey,
I had all the image number one.
You could sell it at cover price and make 500% profit because you got it for $1. Yeah. So you did good.
It's a great book, Derek. I think you're gonna like it.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will see, indeed.
Man, it sounds like he's hating.
All right.
Before you even met it.
Yeah. He hates us for being fans of Cobra Commander.
Okay, you guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Let me
Okay.
just find that.
Yeah.
Wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is? There you go.
All right. Derek H, before we go, man, give us the final thought.
I'm still waiting to hear officially if She-Hulk is good in the second season. I'm hearing no and yes, and then no again and yes again. So I'm hoping for yes. I thought She-Hulk was a good show. I hope Marvel redoes their TV stuff so that it's more viable and sustainable in the future, and maybe cut back on the movies that don't make any money. And I will never believe in the Sony Spider-Man. That's all, because of what they've done.
You never believe in the what?
Sony Spider-Man.
The Sony Spider-Man verse.
Oh, got you.
Because that thing is only made for money.
Because he hates Miles Morales.
Damn.
Miles Morales is never showing up in live
He's a
action.
hater. He's just a hater. Like, yeah, that's
He's never showing up in live action.
He's a hater with a capital F.
He hates Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. I wonder why.
Interracial relationships do not work.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
But they're so fun.
Listen, look, I can't believe I'm about to cut to Oz to try to lower the temperature. Oz, final thoughts.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, more stuff coming. Apparently, backlot interviews with Mo is coming.
There it is.
Meeting in the dark alley.
From like the early 2000s.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Hey, yeah, man. We got good stuff coming. Heavy Metal is coming back on TikTok.
Woo!
So go find that. I don't know how to give you that information because I'm an old fuck. But if you like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'm pretty sure you'll see it. And then, yeah, so just do that.
Indeed. All right, cool. So for the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, like, friggin' be good to each other. We're the Fantastic Forum. Good night.